Arts and Science program, Yongshoutou Conceptual Music. I'm not a computer guy. I work on music recording, but we use a computer every day, so this is why I come here to share some information. It's a kind of a communication, all right, not the talk or seminar. All right, the first one, audio arts and computer science, darker side and the brighter side. Actually, the communication between audio industry and computer science never stopped during the past 20, 30 years. And that communication caused the darker side and brighter side in our life, not your life. Now, what is the darker side? Darker side means there are a lot of world-class recording studios shut down, closed. And there are a lot of recording engineer and live sound engineer, mixing engineer lost their job because of you guys. Because of development of the computer science and technology, everything becomes smaller and cheaper. All right. So there are a lot of people from non-industry area start to set up their own facilities in the home and share business with us. And we lost our job. Okay. And that is the darker side. And what is the brighter side? Because we really appreciate sometimes your work. Because development of the computer science and technology, we can work easier, faster, and more accurate, all right? And it's very easy for us to find a bar number. Probably you don't have a sense about this. And it's very easy for us to zoom in to very details of the waveform to fix the small problem on it. Probably Jonathan has such experience. And it's very easy for us to add all kind of the plugins, all right? And it's very easy for us to do any cuts. And probably you can listen to this music. All right. So, this one. This is the music I recorded about 4 years ago for Universal Records, and it's less than 1 minute's music, but probably you don't know there are about 20 and 30 cuts behind the music, but you cannot hear it. It's not about the quality of the music, it's not about the quality of the musician, it's kind of a standard operation, all right? Because you have to match the tempo and probably the notes is not perfect, you have to replace note. About 20, 30 cuts, but you cannot hear it, all right? That is contribution from development of the computer science, right? Why I say that? You cannot hear it because it's a better design of the crossfade algorithm. The crossfade algorithm. That means you cut the music, you put two parts together, and you cannot the cutting point there, all right? And there's 3 software in the world today. SATI from UK, Sequoia from Germany, and Paramix from Switzerland can do such job. There's another software called Pro Tools, which is quite popular in the pop domain. Basically cannot do this, right? Because it's different crossfade design. Right? Give an example. 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we record a Bach concert, and students press the wrong button. We record the beginning of the piece on the first track on CDR and the rest of the parts of the piece on the second track. and we have to combine them together, send to video team. And the problem is they work on the Pro Tools system because the Pro Tools is quite standard software for film post. And you always can hear the pop noise on the cutting point, right? But on the SADI system, SADI from UK, but probably there's only one in Singapore. I use it now. On SADI, you just need 3 steps to fix the problem, right? Clean the head of the notes, highlight the part, and press F6. Combine them together. That's it. All right. But SADI is quite popular for like classical music, but Pro Tools is quite popular for film post and pop music. They're using in different domains. Okay. The reason I want to mention the crossfade because we still have in future we still have some space or headroom to work together. Okay. Okay. The first one, adaptive crossfade. If you can create a software with adaptive crossfade, that'd be great. All right. And by the way, this is not industry term. I create the term. That means your crossfade can follow the music, feeling, tempo, notes. All right. The response curve of the fade, can automatically match the music. That'd be great. Right. So this is a kind of working experience. When I do the recording, I always think, oh, if any guys can do this job, I think that'll be great. Definitely, if we're gonna buy this kind of software. Adaptive crossfade, self-correction, the second one. Again, this is not the industry term. I create the term. Self-correction means your recording materials. Your music can follow the soft score to fix the mistake you recorded. All right. That means, for the musician, any mistake can happen. Like intonation, the tempo is not correct, the feeling is not correct. But if you can convert the hard copy of the score to soft copy of the score, that soft copy of the score is kind of electronic pulse, not PDF file. And your recording materials follow that one and trigger the pulse. And if you have any mistake, the pulse is going to replace the music note. I think that'll be great. We don't have to convert in non-real time. Probably the real time is perfect enough, right? That's going to save a lot of producer time, recording engineer's time, and you can make a big time. That's it. All right. So like Tchaikovsky volume concerto, 35-40 minutes. You play from beginning to the end. The order one note fixed, the feeling fixed, intonation and tempo fixed. That'd be great. All right. There are a lot of research points for you to work on it. I just give this 2 examples. All right. So I think that would be great if you have interest in our program and if you can apply if you just finished your first year study and want to apply for a second major study, just let us know. And that would be really, really great, important for you to have a working experience in the recording industry. Our recording studio actually centered for the classical music production in Singapore. Right? We record a lot of, we work with Decca, Universal, we work with Singapore government, we record a lot of CD, commercial CD, and during the past 10 years. So welcome, Audio Arts and Science, AAS concept. Audio Arts and Science is a program. We just changed the program last year, all right? Before we call Recording Arts and Science, but we follow the job market. It's much easier for our students to find a job. The concept of the program depends on what our students do now, all right? Our year 4 students currently just create their own company last year and work as a recording engineer for live concert, live sound engineer, music composer, arranger. Our year 3 students Work with the language department as a Foley sound engineer. Year 2 students quite active in the PA domain, and year 1 students, they are still quite struggle with the music theory, history, ear training, sightseeing, and fundamental modules. Okay. And we have a second major students, like you could be our second major students. We have second major students work as acoustician in Arup, which is a leading acoustic company in Singapore, and also master degree students in Denmark now. We also have students work as audiologists. Question, right? Audiologist. Because several years ago, in US started audiology major at Yonglulin Medical School, and they found our student actually is the best candidate because we have a background in math, physics, and sound acoustics music, right? That is the concept of AAS. It's quite hard for me to give a introduction of the whole curriculum. I'm going to spend the whole day. So I just give you a very brief introduction of the 2 fundamental modules for the year 1 students. Right? Okay, this is a concert hall recording, and semester 1, year 1, the students are going to focus on the listening. We call critical listening and concert hall work. Right? You listen to this, because if you don't listen, you don't know music, you don't know sound. If you don't listen, you don't have a sound image in your mind, you lost your target. And you don't know how to set up the microphone, you don't know what kind of the music you need to produce. Right? So let's go back to sorry. I'm not I'm not a Windows user. My template. Okay. Yeah, my template. No, the template on the computer. Yeah. Yeah. This one. Yeah. This one. Yes. Got it. Nice. You listen to this music, I play back. This is a piano solo piece. I recorded around the end of 2017. That is the CD of the year last year by Straight Time. The best classical CD in Singapore. Piano solo. Just an example, okay? We have a quite heavy critical listening module. The students need to figure out what is the 1 kilohertz, 2 kilohertz, 4 kilohertz, 8 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz, 400 hertz, 250 hertz, right? But in the meanwhile, they also need to listen this music, right? Because this kind of experience can help them to handle the balance of the music, right? So the first thing you need to listen.
Sorry, I have a question. When you say like 500 hertz, what does that mean? Is it like
It's a 500 hertz sine wave.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Because several frequency points is quite important for the music, like 80 hertz. 80 hertz is very important for the kick drum. Right? 60 hertz is very important for the bass. And 250 hertz is very important for the body of the snare. 5K is very important for the attack of the snare. Right? And more than 10K is very important for the air feeling of the sound. Right? So you need to have such feeling, like you attenuate the frequency, you boost the frequency, we're gonna have it. Right? The first they need to listen, all right, piano. So they need to recognize, oh, this is the piano. This is the piano, not the violin, viola, percussion, wind, and brass. It's a piano, right? So they should have a kind of image of the piano in their mind, right? Big, huge instrument, very powerful, a lot of harmonics, right? The second thing they should realize it's a Steinway. It's a Steinway piano, right? So it's brighter because you can hear it's quite bright. So it's a Steinway, it's quite bright, but it's not bright as Yamaha, all right? Okay, it's not as bright as Yamaha, but it's also you can feel the body of the piano there. It's quite warm, right? But it's not as warm as Boston Dover. So you should have experience to listen to different pianos. Yamaha, Steinway, Boston Dover, all right? Okay, it's a Steinway sound. The second thing you need to recognize the composer, Tchaikovsky, all right? Tchaikovsky. It's not like a Chopin. It's not Bach. Right? It's not like those composers compose romantic piece and like Bach. He always can stay like a 20, 30 meter away from you, play organ. Not that kind of the feeling. Tchaikovsky, you have to read biography and also read the story behind the piece. You know, he really want to give you this music. He really want to play this music right next to you. All right. So this kind of feeling gonna decide how you set up the microphone. What is the distance between microphone and your piano? You need to show a lot of the details of the piece to your audience. So you probably set up the mean pair about 1.5 meter away from piano, and in the meanwhile set up some spot microphone right above the strings. All right. So you use the mean pair of the mic to create the whole image of the piano, and boost a little bit spot microphone so that I can hear a little bit more attack of the strings, right? This is the third thing you need to listen. The next one, the size of the piano. The size of the piano you need to listen, all right? So you want to create the recording like this, or this. This is acoustics, ambience. So you put a piano inside a concert hall, and this is you put a concert hall inside a piano. All right. So which one you like? This is for classical music, and this is for pop. All right. And you have to listen the balance between piano and acoustics, ambience. All right. And the last one, you need to listen the performance of the reverberation. Okay. Of course, this is the model. Oh, you have a huge hall in the middle. Right. So you can hear a reverb. Natural reverb from our concert hall because we have a air microphone to pick up the reverb. Right? The firstly, you can hear the pre-delay. The pre-delay. Right? The quality of the pre-delay can tell you the size of the concert hall. The size of the concert. The longer the pre-delay, the bigger the concert hall. Right? And the length of the reverb. The length of the reverb can tell you the materials on the sidewalk. All right. Probably you can boost a lot of reverb. You can hear a lot of reverb, but it's not about the size of the room. It's about you have a concrete wall. The materials on the wall. All right. But if you are in a bigger room, if you stay in a bigger room, you can hear the pre-delay. Right. The pre-delay means the time gap between direct sound and reflection. Okay, hear it. 600 seat concert hall. Right? Of course, you can add some little bit more artificial reverb, but for the classical musician, they just hate it. Right? It's quite important for our students to have such a feeling of the concert hall, especially for the ambient acoustics reverb. That's because after first semester, they need to bring such image, they need to bring such memory to the second semester, year one. Right? That's because the second semester, year one, the students need to focus on the classical music production in recording studio environment. That's because not all of the musicians, they have a budget, they have a money to spend on the concert hall, right? So they can only pay recording studio much cheaper, right? But we need to use this recording studio in environment acoustics to simulate concert hall acoustics, right? But how you create the concert hall acoustics, the memory, the sound image is very important. Okay. So we have this. And this is how I set up the microphone for that recording. You can see a min pair microphone. That is this one, Neumann M150, and this one is Neumann U87. Right? Probably you need a little bit more time to recognize the microphone. 150 is omnidirectional mic 2, can give you large, warmer, and bigger sound. And U87 is kind of a standard microphone in the recording studio. Right? It's a multi-power pattern. So we go to second semester, year one. This is a quite standard setup for our commercial session. Right? There are a lot of microphones, but just for two instruments, piano and viola. By the way, this is our tracking recording studio. And this is the biggest recording studio in Singapore, and also the best recording studio for classical music production in Singapore. And we also attract a lot of musicians travel from like Malaysia, from Europe, from Thailand. A few weeks ago, we just finished a percussion recording for Disney movie, Hua Mulan. And about 2 or 3 years ago, we finished the soundtrack recording for The Map. Of course, we also have several other sessions, right? So this pair, omnidirectional mic, Sennheiser MKH20, you set up ambience mic first. That is ambience pair, right? The reason you need to set up ambience pair is because you need to create a concert hall. We call this artificial concert hall, right? That's because you're gonna send artificial reverb to these two channels, right? So you create your own concert hall, and this is a min pair. The format called NOS pair, for you to pick up the sound energy and the balance between piano and viola, right? So that means if you mute all the other channels, the natural balance between piano and viola should be perfect on this pair, on these two mics, right? Then you add spa microphone. This is a spa microphone for viola, and here's a spa microphone for piano. But the function of the spa microphone actually is not for you to record the real energy of the sound. It's just for you to add a little bit of tap of the note. All right. That means you boost the fader. If you can hear, you can really hear the signal from that spa microphone. That's wrong, right? That's wrong. You have to attenuate the level. You have to pull back the fader, right? So that you can feel it, but you cannot hear it. Right? So the sound of this, I recorded this piece in last week. I have to find it. Sorry. Oh, this is okay. I got it. Yeah. This one. artificial reverb. There's no any automation. You know, when you record pop music in sometimes classical music on channel, you need to do a lot of automation. But there's no any automation on this piece. It's just a natural balance, right? It's kind of a collaboration between pianist and soloist. Right? The issue is it's very easy for you to put viola behind the piano, because piano sounds very loud, and viola, there's no that much high frequency, middle frequency. It's not like a violin, all right? It sounds quite soft, mellow, so you have to artificially push a little bit on the spot microphone so that the viola actually just sounds like come from right in front of the piano, not behind the piano. Right? Okay, this is a quite standard setup for sonata, for violin or viola with the piano together. Right? Internationally, everybody set up like this. All right. So this is another recording session. Our year one students set up the microphone for string quartet. All right, for string quartet. This is one of their project because every semester students need to submit at least 5 tracks of their recording. That means probably they need to record 10 sessions and pick up 5 best recording and submit to the school. And the same thing, you have ambience mic here, and you have a 2 min pair, AB and NOS. Usually you just need a 1 min pair, all right? We set up the 2 min pair because the students need to compare the difference, all right? 1 AB, probably you have no idea about what means AB, but 1 AB, 1 NOS, and we have a 4 spot microphone for string quartet, all right? The balance of the string quartet is a little bit different compared to what we mentioned just now. Because first violin and second violin sounds quite loud. Okay, they play to the audience. But cello and viola, especially for viola, play back to the backstage. Right? So you need to artificially boost level of the viola and cello. It sounds quite natural in the live concert, but you have to balance it for the recording. That means the sound energy from left speaker should equals to the sound energy from right speaker. So this is also a quite standard setup, and you can hear this is a recording. For the live concert, you cannot hear the cello that clearly. Okay, you cannot hear the cello that clearly. cello always sounds quite far away. But you have to set up a spa microphone to boost the level of the cello. Details of the first of volume depends on your spa microphone. If you just have a min pair, one pair microphone, you cannot have attack of the notes like that. It's an artificial report from TC6000, and there's no more TC6000 now in the market. It's very rare. Okay, so this is the second semester, year one. Roughly, this is what our first year students do. Okay, of course, from second year, you need to record jazz and rock. And this is a very good module because you have a chance to communicate with the top level jazz musician and rocker in Singapore. All right. The reason we want to record a jazz because it's a classical music. Right. There's no EQ, no compression. And by the way, if you record classical music, there's no EQ, no compression. All right. That's because the plug-in and those hardware is much cheaper than the instrument. All right. If you don't feel sounds good, probably you need to change position of the microphone, but don't EQ or compress it. All right. And this is the jazz. All the three are quite famous guy in Singapore, right? And there's another reason for us to record the jazz because students need to use the jazz music to practice how to use microphone hollow pattern problem, right? So we always use a microphone hollow pattern to do the sound isolation because for the jazz music, they always play together. It's not like a rock or pop. You can put them in different isolation booth and you don't have to worry about the sound leakage during post-production. But not for the jazz music. Right? They want to stay together. There are a lot of sound leakage on each microphone. But you have to try your best to use a microphone hollow pattern to do the sound isolation. See, this is why they stand like a triangle. All right? We try our best to use the 180 degree of the microphone placed to another instrument. That's because on the 180 degree of the microphone, you have a 25 dB sound level attenuation. All right. Jazz. And this is a live sound reinforcement. We start live sound reinforcement, this module, last year because of the job market again. All right. We got a Mr. Chardin, which is the best live sound engineer in Singapore, come here to teach our students how to do this work. All right. So our students got a chance to follow National Day event and all the bigger events in Singapore. All right. And this is what we did, I think it's 2 years ago at Botanic Garden for Beethoven Symphony. It's very hard for you to do the live sound for classical music because both microphone and loudspeaker is a killer of the classical music. Right? So we pick up the instrument and also the quality of the instrument is really bad. That's because nobody want to bring their instrument to the outdoor environment. Right? So we set up the microphone and done a lot of EQ and that's it. This is live sound for classical music. And this is our students working on heavy metal mixing. This is their current project for year 3 students. Audio mixing, post-production, heavy metal. They need to mix the pop, especially for Chinese pop because production environment in Singapore. They need to learn how to mix the Chinese pop and metal music, rock, and different kind of music. And this is Foley Sound. This is not our recording studio, all right? But we have this module. 1 year for MC, and students need to practice how to record Foley Sound, how to edit the sound for film, video program. Probably I can play you one of their projects. Where is it? This is their project. Everything recorded by our students. Voice, music, they compose the music, edit, and all the sound effect. All right, nothing download.
After you, Panda.
Yes, like that. No sit-ups, no 10 more hike.
I vow to train you and you have been trained. You are free to eat.
Oh, the sound is not synced on this system.
Enjoy.
Hey,
I said you are free to eat. Have a dumpling.
hey,
You are free to eat.
am I?
Are you?
What?
Sorry, the sound actually is not synced with the video on this Windows system. But anyway, yeah. So every semester they need to create like 4 to 5 projects like this, action movie, and some commercial stuff. Right. Okay, thank you very much. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Let's thank.
So because